ABC, Mark over here at Twanger's Turntable. Welcome, everyone. Hope you're all doing well on this Saturday afternoon, what happens to be where I'm filming this and when I'm filming this. I'm just jumping on to catch up a little bit. It's almost time to go to the H's in Jacob's Alphabet Challenge. If you don't know Jacob, follow over there in Denmark. That's his channel. Please go over and subscribe to Jacob. Great guy. He's always participating in the vinyl community, supporting everybody else. Well, since that's what this is all about, please do the same. Just reciprocate. Those that support, we'll support each other, and it's all good. So the last one I did was F. Not the last video I did, but the last one in this thread. So it is time for the G. So let's get to it. I'm not going to spend a lot of time explaining any of these. They're just ones that fall into the G category, and hopefully I've got them all cataloged correctly. As far as there's some debate as to how they should be cataloged, and you know what? I don't make much of it, to be honest with you. I kind of catalog my records for the most part, alphanumerical, but there are some exceptions I realize as I go through. Sometimes I catalog my artists as it makes sense in my mind, maybe just because that's how I've always described that band. And when I go to look for it, it's more intuitive, and then realize maybe it's not, technically alphabet by surname, or like band names, I think are pretty simple. But there are some cases where I'm going to use a couple examples. Iron Maiden. Growing up, it was always Maiden, right? So I actually used to catalog Iron Maiden under M. It was just Maiden, right? Same could be said for Sabbath, Black Sabbath. I always cataloged them under S. There's a few Zeppelins like Zeppelin. Few examples: Zeppelin, Led Zeppelin. I always cataloged under Z. Z for my U.S. friends. But now I have actually, I don't know if you call it reformed or. It depends what side of coin you're on. I do file my Iron Maiden under I, which we will get to. Black Sabbath is under B, and so on and so forth. So anyway, I'm going off there a little bit. I should also, I hope to make another more Christmassy video here, but I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Whatever you observe your holidays, I hope it's with loved ones, or however you choose to spend it, and whatever floats your boat, you're doing well. So let's get to it with G. And we got to represent Jacob and the boys over there in Denmark. So I'm starting off with Golden Earring. And this is our 1982 release cut. One of my favorite songs of all time, actually, on here. Like when I'm thinking about, I think about, these are completely organic, so no intention here of shouting anybody out or standing singling anyone out. But Gary started that thread of 5 songs that I never get tired of. This could have been on there. Twilight Zone on here. I just absolutely love that. I always have, right back to 82. So that's always a good one. When I think of G's, Golden Earring come to mind immediately. Another one that comes to mind immediately, and I don't know how many folks have heard of these guys, but recently in the vinyl community, I've seen them present much more, and maybe that's says more about me and the videos I'm watching. I don't know. I can't really speak to that, but a little bit dry here. Still getting over this cold, but you know what? The last few days have been really good, so I hope some of my other buddies out there in the VC that were suffering the same cold or flu symptoms are doing better as well. So cheers, everybody. All my friends, family back home, PEI, out in Alberta, all over. Hope you're doing good. Yeah, these guys always come to mind in G, and as I alluded to, much more attention recently, or at least the videos I'm watching. This is their second album, Girl, Wasted Youth. Probably best known for Phil Collen in Def Leppard and Phil Lewis, LA Guns. They actually do a song on their debut. So this is their follow-up. A couple of songs on their debut. I'm just going to read a little blurb here. I do have their debut back here. I was just listening to, actually. They do a pretty cool cover of the Kiss song, Do You Love Me? Um, I'm going to read this little blurb for those who are not familiar with Girl. They're a British glam rock band. They released their first album, Sheer Greed, in 1980 on an independent record label, Jet Records, which was owned and operated by the legendary Don Arden. Some of you will know Sharon Osbourne, Sharon Arden. He used to manage Black Sabbath and whatnot. Sheer Greed, that was their debut, was released during the middle of the explosion of the new wave of British heavy metal. So there was also just before it got that acronym, my memory, there was just the new wave of heavy metal, and then it became, I don't know which came first, but it's most commonly referred to as a new wave of British heavy metal. But there was a new wave of heavy metal happening around the late 70s, early 80s. Anyway, I digress. The new wave of British heavy metal phenomenon and peaked at number 33 in the UK, crackling with righteous swagger and plundering equaling from the New York Dolls and UFO. The album contains their best known songs, Hollywood Tease, which Phil Lewis later did with LA Guns, My Number, and the Kiss cover, Do You Love Me? So that's off the reissue of their debut. This one is an OG one there. This one goes back a long time. Still got the old sticker on there. $7.95 on Jet Records, as I alluded to. If you've not heard these guys, I would suggest checking them out because they are definitely into that. Actually, you know what? I'm going to stop right there. I'm not going to label them. You check them out for yourself and form your own opinions on what you think of them, because sometimes labels are just stupid. And really good album. Both of those albums I really like. They did another one, a couple of live albums, I guess, and greatest hits from later on that I don't have, but really good band. Next up, I would suggest this guy's probably, well, it depends on who you speak to. It's all subjective, of course, but I wouldn't have known him as the lead vocalist to his prior band, but I'll get to that in a second. But I think this is his fourth album, Peter Gabriel, his fourth solo album. Security, it's commonly known as, and then he had the Rain one, I think was a debut. The Melting one. And then I think there was like a Wax one or something. I don't have that one. I have the other ones, but I think it's the third one I don't have. But this is probably best known for Shock the Monkey. I Have the Touch. Really good album by Peter Gabriel. I'm one of those who probably prefers his solo work to his work in Genesis. And probably just the simple reason for that is when I really came into my own my own musical maturity, if you will, where I was listening to music, of my own choices as opposed to other influences of older siblings and whatnot. This is one of the first ones that really did it for me. And of course, this is just a self-titled Genesis album, but it's Phil Collins on vocals as opposed to Peter Gabriel. And I like Abacab. I pretty much like all of them. Then there were three. There's not any of them that I don't like, and I can't speak as strongly to that with the Peter Gabriel era of Genesis. It's hit and miss for me, but all of this stuff is I really like, and I love this album. My buddy Kim over at This Is Music did a review of this, or he purchased it not that long ago, or something along those lines. Actually, go check out his channel too. And we were speaking about this in the comments, and this is just one of my favorite albums. I don't know if it's because I grew up by the sea, but Home by the Sea 1 and 2, just absolutely killer tunes. Second, Home by the Sea, it's not 1 and 2, but Mama, That's All, Illegal Alien, probably a little dated now, and but whatever. Taking It All Too Hard, Just a Job to Do, The Silver Rainbow. It's gonna get better. I mean, it's a fantastic album. I don't pay too much attention to the what's the word? I don't want to be insensitive, and so it's not about political correctness. But I don't dive too deeply into the meanings of lyrics. Any music I listen to, typically it is the actual instrumentation of it that appeals to me most. I don't usually pay much attention to what the lyrics are saying. Maybe I should, or well, who says whether you should or you shouldn't? I just don't. I could listen to music that have no lyrics and just instrumentals, and I would be fine for the most part. But anyway, I digress. That's a really good album for G. To represent the North here, Canada, this is one from Gowan, Lawrence Gowan. So some of you may know Lawrence Gowan as being the vocalist presently for Styx, but this came out in '84, I believe, up here in Canada. He's actually of origins of, I believe, Scotland or somewhere in the UK, but then was spent a large part of his life here in Montreal. 1984, this one came out. And I think it's probably best known for Strange Animal. Um, and the one that I really love on here is A Criminal Mind. It's a fantastic tune. I think it clocks in just over 7 minutes or so. But it's just a great tune. And I don't know if he did much after this. I wasn't following Gowan. I still don't really follow Gowan, even with the stuff with Styx. But this is when he was solo, 1984. And if you've not heard it, I would definitely recommend checking it out. And then my final one for G. I've seen some really good videos. I mean, Steve, he did a fantastic video of G and H. Speaking of Golden Earring, they made an appearance in his video there as well. Fantastic, man. You got to see it to appreciate it. So I would suggest you check it out. But another one I watched here recently, nothing to do with this alphabet thread, was his best of 2023 Vinyl Richie. And you've got to see that one too to appreciate it. But anyway, this one is inspired by Vinyl Richie's video, and you may understand it once you see the video. Gary Glitter. This is his 1972. I talked about another one that's controversial. Whatever. I'm sometimes we got to separate the artist from the art, and I just like the album. I like the music. As is the case with any of this stuff, if I listen to it, it's because I like the music. It's not a commentary on the artist's personality or lack of personality or whatever it is. Their defects of character. I don't. It's not about that. If we made a list of that, I think the list would get pretty short of the music we listen to. We start going on our ethics and whatnot. Anyway, I'm not jumping on that rant. That's it. That's going to cover my G's here for Jacob's alphabet thread. Like I say, if you've not been over to Jacob's channel, go and check out his channel. Subscribe. Jump on the thread. I see a lot of people have done so, and that's great. It's great to see the support. And I'll leave it at that. Cheers, everybody. I hope you're enjoying your holiday season, whatever it is. Like I say, whatever you are doing, however you choose to spend that, whatever you observe, what holidays you observe, just enjoy it. Be kind to each other, and I wish you all very well and the best going forward. And yeah, I like I say, I'm sure I'll be on here for another video or two before the new year. But just happy holidays, everybody, and thanks for supporting my channel. I really do appreciate each and every one of you doing so. Yeah, cheers, everyone. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I hope to see you soon here at Twanger's Turntable. Take care, everyone. Bye.